Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be talking about our new booking feature today. So we did launch this feature back in November. So we're going to give everybody a few minutes to, get filed in and stuff. So if you want to let us know in the chat, are you using Booking? Are you just here to learn about it? Have you tried it? Oh, Lane's here. Um, Lane is one of our product managers, and he did a lot of work on the booking program. So that's great that we're going to have him here to ask some questions too. But yeah, let us know your relationship with booking right now. Karen is also in the chat. So Karen will show as ShootProof Teen, and then Lane will show as Lane. All right, you're here to learn about it. I want to be able to send contracts to folks and see if it will work for me. Okay, we did just release last week our contract integration with it, so I am going to go over that. Plan to use it for the first time for mini sessions. Awesome. Wanted to see if it's a good match. Starting to using Booking, looking for tips on improving my booking workflows. Okay, so we have a few different booking stages here. That's great. We're going to cover all of it. Honestly, today is going to be like pretty demo heavy. We're going to go deep into booking. So I think we'll be able to cover what everybody wants. All right. I'll probably go ahead and get started. So before we start, I do want to talk about upcoming webinars. So next week we have one that I'm really excited about because I don't actually think that we've ever done a webinar on this topic. So we are doing Instagram Reels Made Easy. This is a photographer spotlight with Social Templates Co. Karen will drop the link for signing up for that. And it's going to be all about how you can use Instagram Reels to kind of market your business. So I'm really excited about that. It'll be a fun thing to learn about, and I hope to see everybody there. All right, so our usual housekeeping spiel. Please close any extra browser tabs, any streaming services, anything that might eat into your bandwidth. Obviously, feel free to chat with each other and with us in the chat tab, but I do ask that if you have questions to put them in the Q&A tab, because that way I can keep an eye out on them. They don't get lost in the chat, and we can respond directly to you. If you ask a question in the chat and you see your question disappear, don't worry. We've just converted it to a Q&A so that we can respond directly to you. All right. So you've been happy with ShootProof for years. Awesome. We love that. And you're just going to learn about booking today. That's great. Again, we're going to cover all of it today. So let's go ahead and get started. So what are we going to talk about today? First, we're just going to talk about what online booking is and kind of just all that it has to offer, right? Everything we can set up with it. And then we're going to jump into just demoing all of it. So we're going to start by setting up a session type, and then we're going to talk about how you can manage your bookings. And then we're going to open up the floor to some Q&A. So what is online booking? It is our newest feature that we're very excited about. You can create multiple session types. Each session type has its own landing page and link that you can send to your clients, where then they can select a date and a time. If you add it, you can get them to sign a contract at the time of the booking. And you can also set it up for them to pay at the time of the booking. So that's up to you. There's lots of settings. Again, we'll go over all of that. So booking is an add-on feature. So you can sign up for it either monthly or yearly. And you can see that on your plan and billing page if you'd like to sign up. We do have a 30-day free trial with it as well. So what can you do with booking? There's a lot you can do with booking. The first thing, we can create session landing pages with specific session descriptions. So you can see this one to the left here, we have all the information. There's the page where your client can select a date, and then on the available dates, we'll show the available times. So you can use it to schedule full-length sessions. We have a way for you to schedule days of mini sessions, or consultations. So if some of you offer, maybe a free consultation to see if you're the right photographer for them, you can set that up with booking. You'll get to include all the session information. So the address, if it's at a location, the URL, if you're going to do a video call, the phone number, if you're going to do a phone consultation, all of that. You can set dates, how long the session's going to be, gaps between sessions. So if you need a little break between your sessions, we can go ahead and build that in for you if you set that up. You can collect payment, and you can decide when you're going to collect payment, or you can offer sessions for free, right? Those free phone consultations. So if you want to collect payment at the time of the booking, you can collect all of that up front, or you can do partial payment with then picking the date for the rest of the payment if you want it on the session date or a different date, or again, paying at the time of the session. You can set up whether you want to have to manually confirm or automatically confirm. And then we just added a few more features last week. So right now you can showcase sessions on your portfolio site by adding them to your booking page. We'll go over that. We have all these new email templates that we made specifically for booking. So you can set those up so that you don't have to, remember to be sending follow-up emails about reminders and all of that. You can set block-up times for when you are not available so that clients can't book during those times. And then last week we did add contract templates. So you can add a contract template so that they have to sign a contract at the time of booking. And then you can now sync with your Google Calendar so we can prevent any scheduling mishaps. So I told you it was demo heavy. We're going to go right in. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is set up sessions. So you can have multiple session types, and with each of those session types, you can have all different settings, different details, all of that. So to get started, we're going to go over here to our Studio tab, and we're going to go down to Booking. And your page, if you haven't signed up for your trial, or if you don't have session types yet, is going to look a little different than mine. We are going to just go ahead and work in a session type that I've already created. But if you haven't created one yet, the only difference is that you're going to hit this Add Session Type button, or the button in the middle that says the same thing, and you're going to give it a name. That name is client facing, but you can change it once you get into the session. So we're going to click into this one, and this is that name that we would have added. And if we need to change this, we'll just click the little pencil. So first we're going to set up all of the information about the session itself. So you have the option to add these banner images. These will scroll across the top of the booking page so the client will see them. So if you want to go ahead and add kind of, examples. So we have these sunflower mini sessions. Here's some sunflower mini sessions for the client to see. Also, this first one is going to show as kind of like the cover image if you do decide to show those sessions on your booking landing page, but we'll show that a little further in. So this description is where you're going to want to, tell the client exactly what their session entails. And this appears on the top of the booking page when they go to sign up. You can change the link here. This is just the link that will get them to that booking sign up page. It defaults to what you named your session, but you can change it here. See, we've shortened it to mini session. And then we have the different session locations. So you can add address. If you have a URL for a video call or a phone number. I have already set up my Google Calendar integration. So that means that Google Meet shows as an option for me. So if we select that, then when they get that calendar invite, it will already have a Google Meet link set up in there for them, or you can choose none. So we're going to leave it as an address. And then you'll see all of your color sets that you've set up, over here in your brand tab. So you can choose all of those to get your logo and your colors on the page. Then in our availability is where we are going to set the duration. So you have the option to set up minutes or hours, put whatever there. And then you can set the specific availability you have for your session. So If we want to add weekly availability, so for every, week that we're available for this on X number of days, you would start that here. And you can also add those in specific blocks. So maybe I'm available from 8 a.m. to noon, but then I have to take some time off in the afternoon. And then I'm available from 2 to 5:30. So you would set that up for every day that you want to be available for this type of session. But if you want to do mini sessions, which is what these are called, we also have this mini session availability. So with those, you can add a specific date. So let's say on the 26th, I want to do 7 mini sessions. And I want to start at, I'm not a morning person, so we're going to start at 11. And then if you want to add a gap between them, you can add this here. You totally don't have to. I know lots of people like doing their mini sessions back to back, so you can get rid of that. And then we're going to go ahead and we're just going to block out all of those mini sessions right there for you. If you do mini session availability, it does override this weekly availability. So if you had any time here on Saturday, this Saturday, the 26th, these mini sessions would override that, and the clients would just see this 11, 11:10, 11:20, and so on. All right. Now the rules tab. This is where you can set just some of the rules about when and how far in advance you need notice for these. So if you really, you can set it out hours, minutes, days. So right now we have it set that clients can book a year in advance for this, and that you need 5 days minimum notice. Again, you can also do hours and minutes. So you can really let people, schedule just a few minutes before their session if you'd like. Here you can also add a contract. So when we hit add a contract, it's going to bring up all of your contract templates that you have created, and you can select one. You'll have this edit button, which will take you to that contract template if you need to edit it. And this one does include blanks or variables that cannot be filled in during booking. So we have a list here of all the supported variables that you can use with your contract templates. Mostly it's going to be that the variables for like a second signer is not going to be available because only one person is signing up for the booking. So you'll just need to make sure that you're only using the variables in that list, and we'll tell you can edit that template there. You also can't do blanks because there's no way to input information into those blanks before. So you'll just need to set those templates up without those options. If you add a contract template, we're going to automatically default this to a manual confirmation, right? Because you're going to have to countersign the contract. But if you're not doing a contract template, you can have the option of automatic confirmation. So again, with the consultations, maybe you offer a 20-minute phone consultation and you don't need a contract template for that, right? So you'll just click no, and then you could have that be an automatic confirmation booking. We're going to, let's just leave. We'll do this because we'll look at the example from the client side. So now we have a contract on this one. It's defaulted to manual confirmation. And then you can also set it up where it creates a gallery once the session is confirmed. Once you do that, you'll add one of your presets down here. Sorry, I'm taking a look at the chat. That really just depends on with your multiple session types, if you want them to have, if they have different prices, if they have different settings, all of that. You can make multiple session types. So now in our payments is where we're going to set the price. If you don't want them to pay, you'll just leave it at 0, right? For those clone consultations or any free things that you're offering. And then you can set the payment schedule. So you can set the full amount due at the time of booking, so they would have to pay in full upfront. You can set the full amount due at the time of the session, or you have this partial percentage payment. So if you want to do, maybe like a 25% kind of as a retainer, you can set that up here and it'll tell the remaining amount that they're going to owe. And then you can set the due date for either the time, the day of the session, or you can do a custom if you want to do X number of weeks before the session. If you have it where they either are doing a partial payment or a full amount due at the time of the session, they still have the option though to go ahead and pay upfront. So they'll still see where they can add their credit card and go ahead and pay for the whole session right away. And then if you need to do some sales tax, you can add that down here, add a percentage and give it a name for them. All right. And then last but not least, we have these email notifications. So we did make new email templates specific for booking, which then have variables related to booking. If it's going to look a little different on your end because I already have set up these email templates. If you have not, this blue button will prompt you to create these new email templates, and we can go ahead and take a look at that. So we have all these new booking templates. And as usual with the same as the other email templates, when you choose one, we will have kind of all this information added in for you, but you can make any edits, you can change the button, you can do all of that. And then you'll see these list of variables, and we have these new variables related specifically to booking that can be used in these booking emails. So once you set those up, sorry, I'm going to have to kind of get back to the tab I was in. Then you'll have the option to choose all of these if you want to send a confirmation email, if you want one for canceling, if you want to set up reminder emails so that you can remind them weeks or days beforehand, and also a payment reminder email. So once we have all of this set up, we have our session set up exactly how we want it. We're going to go back to this page and decide whether we want it to show on our new booking landing page or not. So these private sessions down here won't show on your booking landing page. And when you create a session, it is going to default to being a private session. So these will still be active. You could still book clients this way, but you would want to copy this link and just send that link directly to the client. Now, if you want them to show on your booking landing page, you can click this little overflow button right here, and you can click Make Public. So all of these that I have up here are ones that I have set to public. If I wanted to make them private again, I could do that. And then I can drag and drop them into a different order. That's going to be the order that they show in on your booking landing page. So our booking landing page is right up here. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right tab. So you'll see that now we have our home button and our about, contact, all of that I've set up on my portfolio website page. And then this last one we have is sessions. So your clients can now see all of the ones that you put on this public page. If you only have private sessions, this tab won't show at all on your landing page because there's nothing to show here. So if you don't want anything showing there, just make sure that all of your sessions are listed as private. But now your client can see these, and we can click this Book Now button. So here's my cute cover images, my little banners going across, and you can see that the one that was first in the list was the one that showed kind of as that cover image, similar to your galleries and your albums. Here's all of that information that we set up, your description, your price, the time, all of that. And then you can click on days where, with the little circles, which will show where you have availability. So we're going to somewhat sign up for this because I think this one we have a payment on, and I'm not going to pay myself a bunch of money right now. So let's click noon and we'll hit continue. When your client signs up for a booking, we're going to automatically add them as a contact in your contact section with this information that they add in here. We'd also show this on their invoice that we create for it and if they sign a contract. All right. So here is my contract that I have. And it's going to tell me all of these sections that I need to fill out. So unfortunately, you're going to have to watch me type for a second. So I'm going to click Start. All right. And then once they fill out, those are the fillable fields that you have on the contract. They can click here to sign. Oh no, you're gonna have to watch me sign too. There we go. That's my signature. All right. So that's the workflow if you have a contract set up with your booking. They have to sign first, and then obviously you will be prompted then to sign that contract after this has been booked. We're not gonna finish because I can't pay. I don't have the money right now. I'm just kidding. But so then they'll be brought to this page where they can, like I said, pay in full, or they can pay that partial amount that you set. They can add all their billing information there, and then they can click book session. So in this workflow, once they clicked book session, you would be notified that you have a new pending session. You would be prompted to sign that contract and then approve their session. Let's go back. All right. And then really quick with the setting up your session and the booking landing page, you do have some options for how to set up your landing page. So we want to go down here to our portfolio website. And down here we have our booking section. So you can change that tab that said sessions. You can change the name there to whatever you want. And then this is the button that they click to then open that session. All right, let's take a little look at the chat. Do you have to use the portfolio website to see all the bookings page? I use Square for my main website and then link to a specific mini sessions from there. It would be cool to have all the bookings page, but I don't want to use the portfolio. So Tim, you could add those individual links on your website, right? You could set them up as links. There isn't a way to have, you could also just link to the tab on your portfolio website. The sessions tab. But I don't know if I'm not, are you asking if there's like a way to embed it into your main website? And then can we have a link bookings to my existing website? Brigitte, that would be, again, just like kind of copying the link. I think depending on what your website is, you could maybe make buttons. I'm not entirely sure. Are you able to edit the session, for example, add times, dates after you have made the session? Yes, you can edit your session types once you have created them. So you can go and you can add more dates, or if you decide you need more time in advance, or you want to have people book further out, you can set that up. Is there a place to add a questionnaire? No, there isn't a place to add a questionnaire, unfortunately. All right, I think Karen's got everything in the Q&A. So now that we have our sessions set up, we do want to make sure that we're managing our sessions. So once you have some sessions booked, actually when you go to your booking tab, it is going to automatically take you to the sessions tab up here instead of your session types. So if you need to make changes to your session types, as you were mentioning, you would go here and you can just click back into your session type and make any of those changes. It does save automatically as you're going, so you don't have to hit the save button or anything. But once you have some sessions booked, you'll see them up here. You can see upcoming sessions. You'll see that this one that I have needs confirmation. So that would also show under my pending one. We have previous sessions, any sessions that we've canceled, and then we have block off times. So block off times are times that you can add that will just not show as available. So your client just won't see that time. So if you had, for example, added availability, Monday through Friday, but now you know that next week or the first week of May, let's say, that you're actually going to have to, go do camp pickup for your kids every day, and you don't want to go and redo all of your availability. You could say, actually, though, every day I am unavailable from 1 to 3 just for this week. Or if you're just want to block off one day or you're going on vacation, you can also add titles here so that you can see what the block off time is for. So you'll see that this one, I think I just put out of office, which does not make sense, but you know what I mean. And then the other thing that you're going to want to do is sync with your Google Calendar. So I have already set up my Google Calendar integration. It is very easy though. You're going to click sync calendar. You're going to log into your Google. And then very importantly, we're going to check these boxes when it asks what you can access. This is just allowing us to see what is marked as blocked off on your calendar as busy, and add those calendar events to your calendar once you have those bookings. So you'll hit select all. Once you do that, it'll bring you back here. Your calendar will be connected. You can select, if you have multiple calendars listed, you can select which calendar you want your events added to. And then you can also check, if you have multiple calendars, which ones you want referenced for availability for scheduling. And then if you ever need to change this, it would just be here under this calendar sync button. All right. Karen is so on top of the Q&A. Can I share the other screen? Yes, I never went back to the other screen. Sorry about that. Okay, so here is that calendar sync button where you can select your calendars from here for which one you want to add to. And then this is the one that you're going to reference for any conflict. So you can check multiple calendars for that one, for all of the calendars that you're following. And then if you ever need to make any changes, that is just up here under that calendar sync button. So it shows in the top right on both of your, so once you get to the booking tab in general, it doesn't matter which, if you're in session types or sessions, it'll show up here. But you do have to be logged in as the owner on the account. So that's the main email address that you signed up with. So if you have like a secondary user or another user and they go to booking, they will not see that calendar sync button. Is this a standalone site? It is an add-on, so it would be, it's a different subscription, but this is within your ShootProof account. So it would be down here under Studio, under Booking. Well, that is our whole demo. So I'm going to take a look at the chat in the Q&A and let me know if there's anything else that you would like me to walk through. Tammy, we are not able to sync with iCalendar yet. I'm not sure. Well, so you can use it if you don't have a website. With your ShootProof account, you always have your portfolio website. So you can set that up with as much information as you want. That's down here under Studio, Portfolio website. So you can choose how much brand information you want on here. You can set up that booking page if you'd like, an about, all of that. But really, it's just anybody who wants a booking solution. Oh, thank you, Lane. Sorry, I'm not familiar with iCalendar too much. Julie, are you talking about editing the session type, or are you wanting to edit like a specific booked session? And Susan, on this example, in this account, we don't have a separate website. This is just all within your ShootProof account. This is set up with your portfolio website page. Barbara, to sign up, you can go to your account. So the little head and shoulders in the top right corner up here. And under plan and booking, that's where you can select which booking plan, if you would like monthly or yearly. You can't edit a specific booked session. If they need to change a time or anything, they would have to cancel and do it again. Sorry for the confusion there. The booking area shows up to 5 images. You can add 5 banner images to scroll across. Elise, the contract templates that you already have created, you can link those to the booking. They'll show in that drop-down menu. But again, you just want to make sure that they don't have any of the variables or the blanks that aren't able to be used with booking. Can you show how to create an email campaign with a booking link? Are you wanting to email about the booking, or you want to add a booking link into an existing email campaign? So Karen sent the webinar. We have one all about setting up email campaigns in general. If you just wanted to add the link or a link to a specific booking, you could add that link into one of the emails in your email campaign. So, sorry, I'm going to bounce around to a couple of pages really quick. So, if you wanted to send a link for a specific booking or session type, you could click copy link, and this is going to take them directly to that specific booking page, right? So that takes them right to the sunflowers minis. If you want to just show them which booking or what session types that are available, you could send them this sessions link. So this is the one in your ShootProof portfolio website. And I think it's yourportfoliowebsite.com/booking. So you could share that whole link and bring them to this whole landing page with all of them. Sarah, it does not send a text to your phone when someone books. You will receive an email, though. Barbara, if they've already paid and the session date is changed, you would have to cancel that existing session date. The money would not be refunded. You would have to refund the money if you needed to in that scenario, but canceling it isn't going to automatically issue a refund. Okay, past webinars are in our help center. You can go to help.shootproof.com and there's a section on webinars. You can also sign up for future webinars at shootproof.com/events. Susan, a replay will be emailed a little later on today. It's typically it takes like an hour or two to process, and then you'll get an email automatically with the replay. It also will show at the original landing page that you signed up for this. So if you click links in old emails, it'll take you to that replay. Amanda, I would reach out to our support team about that. That's support@shootproof.com, and they can look further into that for you. And then, yes, again, what Lane said, refunds would be handled in the invoice feature. So you'd want to... Sorry, we're jumping around all the pages today. We'd go down to studio and then we'd go to invoices. So when they sign up, it does automatically create an invoice for them. And if you needed to do any refunds, you would want to do it from this invoice. Oh, that's awesome, Lane. All right, so a fix for that is coming. All right, I'm looking through really quick to make sure we didn't miss anything. We do have one handout for in this handout section, which is our resource library, which is just all the places where you can go to get help. And then specifically in our help center, we do have a section on booking, and there's a article about setting up your Google Calendar that shows you all the screens if you need that. Susan, all of your colors are going to be from your brand section right here. So you can always add a new color set. And then within those color sets, you can set your logos and you can set your primary and secondary colors there. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. We hope to see you at next week's webinar as well. Susan, it's in the brand tab of the studio section. So over here under studio, if you go to brand and you click new color set, you'll give it a name. The starting colors, a light theme is white and a black theme or a dark theme is black. So you'll start from there and then you'll add the rest of those colors and everything on that other page. Lane, you might need to answer that one for me. I believe that you, it should be showing your time zone to both of you, but I'm actually unsure. Lane can answer that for you, Eva. For how to create a color set, let me grab that Help Center article for you. All right, Susan, here is that article. And Eva, I'll have somebody reach out to you afterwards about that. All right. Oh, there you go. Lane answered. And we'll make sure to grab your email so that we can get you updated on that. Well, thanks everybody so much for coming. Reach out to our support team if you have further questions, and we hope to see you at a future webinar.